everybody, and welcome to AudioCodes UC Talks with me, Jay Wyatt, and my colleagues Shane and Scott. Hi guys.
G'day. Hi. Long time no speak.
It has been.
I know.
After doing a series of videos during the COVID pandemic and basically being in lockdown what seemed forever, I mean it was months, we've decided that we will continue with another video series. It's been a while since we did our last video together. For those that have followed the previous series, you would have seen that we also did a bunch of videos with the EMEA country UC consultants sharing their experiences kind of across France and Germany, which I found actually really quite interesting. And of course, Shane, Scott and I did a video for UC Today. So if you haven't seen that video, you can go to UC Today and have a look through their videos. Which I still think is hilarious. Thank you ever so much, Shane.
Yeah.
It was supposed to have been cut out what you said, but it wasn't. What
was that again? What was that again?
We don't know what you do, Jay. Thank you ever so much.
But you know what? I was doing a presentation this week, and one of my favorite things that I like to do is go off topic for you. I love this because I watch you squirm. But I was doing a presentation today. And yesterday. And, in PowerPoint now, you can do a search and it searches for like you're talking about. I was doing a direct routing deck. Up comes one of your decks, a really great deck that you did with lots of pictures and that, and real good looking deck. And I was like, thank you, I'll take that. And I just grabbed that. So now I know what you do. You're really good at doing PowerPoint decks.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much. At least I've been pigeonholed into a role.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you know what? Anyway, right. So I'm keen to learn what's been going on around the globe. So as I said, it's been a couple of months since we last did a video blog, and hopefully, we can have a bit of a catch up and we can sort of learn what's been happening. I don't really want to focus on COVID because it's all over the news. We all know it's a global pandemic. However, it's had a massive impact on so many businesses in a negative, and I think for many businesses, including perhaps ours and the other sort of communication companies, in a positive way. And I also think in some regions it's been business as usual for a time, and then more restrictions. News is that we're hearing in the UK is that Australia is having a second spike, and well, the US seems to be in like one long pandemic, which doesn't seem to be improving in any way whatsoever. I think across my region, in EMEA, it really kind of varies country to country, which is really hard to keep on top of. So let's press on. Scott, great to see you. Great to see you well. Great to see you smiling, and great to see you still with us. Perhaps you can give our viewers an update on what's been happening in the US. Have you seen more businesses consuming Microsoft Teams? What's kind of been going on? I know you've been flat out busy.
Sure. Well, as you can see, the background is different. So I have moved since we last spoke. So I'm in a new part of the city here in Atlanta, but that's a personal level. On a professional level, as you mentioned, flat out busy. I've been in conversations, multiple conversations a day, talking to both our to all of our AudioCodes business partners, as well as in consumer companies, talking about our live teams and live cloud products that are all about enabling direct routing, different ways of doing that, both for the partner community as well as for the end business community.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard you were invited to do a webinar with Microsoft, which I actually really enjoyed, and I thought the content was awesome because Microsoft are very good at kind of throwing new products out there, and they don't really sort of follow up with anything, and it's left to the partner communities to kind of get a grip of what's going on. So I think the focus on that was Microsoft Business Voice and how it sort of works with direct routing. Is that right?
Yeah, it was actually for the business partner community, and think of it, for those of us who have been in the Microsoft kind of world for a number of years, we're used to kind of the 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level kind of methodology of how they train, how they teach. So this was
Okay.
somewhere like about maybe say a 150 level. So it didn't really fall into the pure, beginner level, but it wasn't quite a 200 level. Around voice, so that SMB, kind of the small to medium business market segment for business partners. How do you go to market with direct routing? Because they didn't really want to focus on business voice. The $20 SKU that's kind of the all in. It's what about those business partners that are going to have buyers in areas of the world where business voice isn't an option? Yeah. And again, that's direct routing. That's our direct routing. How do you get that out to? How do you enable teams for voice, for buyers, for consumers that don't have calling plans as an option? And for us, I think we take it for granted that the answer is direct routing. Okay, bang on, move on. But we still have a lot to do as far as educating people. This is how you do this with teams, and that's direct routing. And it's like, well, what does that even mean? What is direct routing?
Do you find though, and because I've done a few presentations recently with Microsoft, I find it's really, really difficult because Microsoft will invite everybody to those presentations, whether they're an end business, whether they're small, medium enterprise, whether a partner or a service provider, and to try and kind of get that tone across. And I also perhaps feel that this sometimes leads to a bit of confusion, certainly for end businesses, because your tone to a partner or your tone to a service provider will be completely different, because what resonates with them is different to what resonates with an end customer. Do you find that? Did you find that on that? Because I know the one that you did was focused at kind of everybody.
Oh, sure. It is. That webinar was actually two of us here in the U.S., me and our director of sales engineers, Avi. So Avi is much more technically savvy than I am. I fancy myself fairly technically savvy, but then when I get into the audience of our SEs, I realize that there's a lot that I don't know, and so they can go really, really deep into the knobs and the wires and all the bits and bobs as it pertains to our SBCs and direct routing. So we had a lot of sessions with Microsoft beforehand as far as just what level are we speaking to, and pulling that back up as far as, there were two segments to that, two sections to that webinar. One was what are AudioCodes managed services around this, and even there, speaking to two different audiences, the live cloud versus live teams. That's confusing enough as it is. But then once you start trying to talk about how do you do this, that's where it's trying to fit that into even a 30-minute talk can be tough, because it's. What audience am I speaking to? The 100 level, the 200 level, the implementers, the decision makers. It's, that's the key thing to any kind of narrative, is know your audience. So that's, your point is very valid as far as if you've got a big audience of people, who am I speaking to?
Who are you speaking to, how you resonate with them all? Scott, we're going to have to move on there, but,
I was just going to quickly say too, is that when you're doing these live ones, it's very difficult because you're not getting that feedback. That like when you're talking at Ignite, you can get the feedback because you can see people starting to. You got that feedback. It's very difficult.
Most of your audience is going to be asleep, right? So.
What
can I say? I shouldn't say that.
I think it's a great point, Shane. Even here, like talking to the three of you, I've been doing more of these types of conversations, I'm going to call it, where, and the feedback that I get after the fact is, look at the camera more. But if I do that, I can't look at you guys for feedback. It's like, so web conferencing will never really replace real live interaction. And I do miss that, but this is a great substitute.
And this is the modern world. This is how it's become, and I think this is going to stay with us for quite some time. So going back to Scott, your presentation, perhaps if our viewers would like to know more about Microsoft Business Voice for Microsoft Teams, they could post a comment, or of course email us at uctalks@audiocodes.com to get more information, because I'm sure there's going to be a recording somewhere, or we can sort of pick things up. And I was going to say, lastly, Scott, anything else in the pipeline that you'd like to share with our viewers Any sort of upcoming events or anything that you'll be involved in?
I've got a talk with ScanSource later today that I'm doing another roundtable. I actually did one with them a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And, just stay tuned in. Keep looking out for all of us. Jay, Shane, myself, AudioCodes. Subscribe on all of your favorite social media platform, and we're out there. We're making the rounds.
Cool. Shane, I know you're chomping at the bit. I can see you. Okay.
I've been very good. I've been keeping
But you know what? I don't actually know what you do. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah. So, same question for you, Shane.
It was funny the first time. Yeah.
Hey, Shane, turn around. Is that a knife in your back? I can't.
Yeah. So what's been going on with me in my world? Well, my big news is I got number 10. You can't see that, my MVP.
Congrats.
So, actually, my for office apps and services again. So those who don't know,
for making coffee and getting up early.
yeah, making coffee, jumping on a plane. I realized I was talking to the wife today. This year will be the first time I haven't gone to the US in over 11 years. So it's amazing because the last 11 years I've been in Redmond and Ignite and all those type of things. Really missing that 16-hour flight once or twice a year. But so that's my big news. So MVP renewal, number 10. So I was pretty chuffed with that.
That's really awesome. Really awesome.
So now it's really working to get number 11 and number 12, and then hopefully, get up to 15. So I got the 10-year chip, so I'm really happy. But professionally, I've been doing, and dare I say it, and there is a reason I'm going to say this, a bit of Skype for Business work lately. So it's been interesting, but what's been more interesting is that as we've been rolling out Skype for Business, then the customers have already started talking about Teams.
Yeah.
And to the point where they were doing some Skype for Business upgrades, and midway through those projects, all of a sudden, we're now instead of meeting via Skype, we're meeting via Teams. And I think that's a lot of people who are in that vote now today are looking at that. Do we upgrade, or do we just go to upgrade Skype for Business, or go directly to Teams? And more now, there's quite a number of projects I'm involved in where that is happening. One that starts tomorrow actually is a fairly major. We're going across a lot of APAC and a lot of countries. I think about 30 countries. We're moving from CCE across to Teams. So that's really what's been keeping me busy. The odd support here and there. Lots of documentation, and of course, stealing your PowerPoint presentation once again. Thank you very much.
I love that, and I've seen videos that have been done by some of our colleagues all over the globe, and when I see some of my slides being used, I don't think that's my slide deck. I just think that's brilliant. That's great. And I do try to pump, ramp them up a little bit, and there's this whole kind of, how should the slide decks look, whether should have a white background or a black background, and I'm very much for the black background because it makes it very sort of funky and very modern.
So I've since seeing your slide deck, I've gone through and changed. So I do a lot of workshops and that type of stuff, like 3-day technical workshops. I've started going through, changing all that. I've also been doing a lot of document automation and all that type of stuff. I've done that for years before AudioCodes. So I've now changed the templates that they're all using to your PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully you'll start to see it. And I've still left it. And don't worry, I still left your name on the embedded.
Right. So they're always going to come back to me. But that's awesome. Thank you. I know that you've got an upcoming webinar with Microsoft in APAC, and again, you've done some plagiarism with Scott's presentation that he did in the US.
You're saying this in the way that's all I do, but I don't create my own content.
But would you like to share on this video so that we can get it promoted through our social media channels?
Yeah, so as you said, it's plagiarism. So I'm doing this with Microsoft. So Kunal and Jean. Kunal, I think he's in Singapore. Jean is Microsoft in Australia. So it's myself and BH. BH is from, he's our Director of Strategic Accounts. I can't say that word, in APAC. So the four of us are teaming up. We're doing, once again, a very similar webinar. In actual fact, it's almost exactly the same slide deck, just slight modifications, of course, for the APAC region. September 3, 2020. Yeah, it's September 3 this year, 11 a.m. Singapore time. So
okay.
11 a.m. Singapore.
Am I right in thinking that we're actually going to be hosting this one?
Correct. We're hosting this one.
We're hosting.
The live webinar links. The links are going up on the website, I believe, tonight, or may have gone up just yesterday. AudioCodes.com, or of course in the video. Hopefully they'll paste the link in the video, and also because I'm not sure of the exact link, but I guess they can always email us.
It'll be on the website, and of course our viewers, they can post a comment or they can email uctalks@audiocodes.com. But guys, by the time this video gets out on social media, the links will be on the website, so we'll be able to sort of point you in the right direction. Plus, because we're hosting it, we're going to be able to record this this webinar, and then again we'll post that through the social media channels, which I think will be really, really good, because it's going to follow the same kind of theme, talking about Microsoft Business Voice and direct routing and how that works with Business Voice. So I think there's some really, really good stuff there to sort of listen into. And we've got our MVP on board, so it's going to be very technically led.
10 years. So don't forget the 10 years.
10 years. 10 years in MVP.
Yeah.
Shane, thank you ever so much for that. Guys, once again, thank you, Shane and Scott. Appreciate it as always. Thank you to our viewers. If you like this video and you would like to see more, please go to the AudioCodes YouTube page and search for #UCTalks. If you want to email Shane, Scott, or myself directly, it's the uctalks@audiocodes.com. Thank you ever so much.
Cool. Thanks.